So hi everyone, this is your Dr. Arul here, the medical director at Search Test. So today we have a special guest, Dr. Akshay, ranked 21 and recently conducted NEET SS 2023. Hi sir. Uh, so a short intro about you will be great, sir.
Hi guys, I am Dr. Akshay. I learned my MBBS as well as MD from both from Government Medical College Kottayam, and currently I secured a rank 21 in NEET SS 2023, and I am waiting for my allotment currently, and I am planning to take on rheumatology as my subject.
So how you are feeling about the rank as such? Are you happy with the rank? I know it is a very good rank, and also were you expecting this when you wrote this exam, or a little less than what you expected, or more than what you expected?
Actually, I put in quite a lot of effort for the NEET SS and over the past 1 year, 1 to 1.5 years. Grandest, and I was staying in a consistent rank range within the 20-30 range, within from about 5 to 30 across different platforms. And during the final stage of my exam, when I went for the NEET SS, I think there was some technical issues. I couldn't sleep much for the exam in the previous day. I couldn't have much food actually in the morning. And but in spite of all this, I'm very happy. I'm very glad that I could maintain my rank range, and I could get this rank. And this rank is I am thanking God for giving me such a rank, because I have no other option than rheumatology pursuing at this point of time. So I think I have got a rank that is enough to secure the subject of my choice.
Great, sir. So your subject of your choice is rheumatology, right? And why rheumatology?
Yes.
Any inspirations? Then any specific scenarios or incidents that made you fall in love with rheumatology?
Sir, I initially during my third semester in my MBBS onwards, I was actually inclined towards medicine side, and one of the first cases that I saw was a scleroderma patient, and I immediately fell in love with the beauty of the subject. And once I read about the subject, actually it was very intriguing. And once you go through your MD course, also you will feel that most of the super specialty subjects are disconnected with the core of the medicine, except for rheumatology, endocrinology, and nephrology. So I wanted to be connected to medicine a bit more, and I wanted to go a bit more deeper into the medicine part. And as when we pursue rheumatology, I hope that I will be able to do so. And also, when you look at the treatment part, we have a consultant rheumatologist in our college, Dr. Hari, who was very supportive during my MD period, and he actually took me to rheumatology conference. He took me to his OPDs, and I used to work as his apprentice for quite some time. And once I learned that rheumatology is a subject that can give a, once you learn it and once you practice it, it gives a lot of relief to the patient. It gives a lot of pain relief to the patient. And most of these patients are having a lifetime, a disease that affects their life quite greatly. So once you have a patient and they're sick for quite a long time with you, and they depend on you for a lot of things, and for you to improve their illness as such. And I think that part is actually very interesting to me, and it motivates me to pursue this subject further.
Great, sir. Okay. So, when did you start your preparation as such? So I know that your final exams, you would have been preparing for your final exams, and then NEET tests. When did you start preparing seriously, and what are the resources you started using, and how search test as a NEET tests preparation material was helpful for you?
Yeah, I joined my MD course in 2020. About it was delayed by COVID towards August, and once the course started, and when the COVID peaks came, we could not study. Initially, I started studying, but it was not in a mode for any entrance preparation, but just to gain knowledge, we just to learn the cases in the ward. I used to refer up to date, etc. Some a bit of Harrison's, and learn about the cases in the ward. And once I finished my first year, and about 1.5 years into the first year, once the juniors joined, and we got a bit more free time. And then I started preparing for subject wise, for initially for theory exams. So once I got to study theory exams, I got through some video platforms, and at this point, I was watching some video lectures and combining the content of the video lectures with my notes and theory notes. So at this point, I could get an understanding of the subject, core understanding of each subject. Initially, I started with neurology, then cardiology, then nephrology. So of these, and along with this, we also had the specialty postings also. So both of us, while seeing the patients as well as learning from video platforms by great teachers, and as well as combining the theory notes, it actually put me a step forward, and it helped me gain a lot of knowledge during that time. But at this point, I was not seriously preparing for entrance as such, just to learn more about the subject. And once I ended January this year, about December last year, I realized that at that point I was not fully confident about taking rheumatology, or I was confused between neurology and nephrology and rheumat. So so actually, during December, I went to a conference, rheumatology conference held in Indore, and I participated in it. So after that, I realized that this subject has a lot of potential in the future, and I started getting more and more inclined to rheumatology only. So at this point of time, rheumatology is a field that requires a top rank to get during this time anyway. So I started to prepare for entrance during that time. So from December onwards, I started to prepare more seriously on an entrance basis. I started to give grant tests every monthly, or then later on 2 weekly, etc. And about in December, I think I also took surge tests around this time, actually, November, December, that time. I went through some online platforms, and I understood that there is an app known as Surge Test. At that time, it was not very popular, I think, but it was more for the surgical side than for medical side. Surgical side, it had already its name, but medical side during that time, it was not very famous. But I saw some reviews on Reddit and many other platforms that it is an amazing app. It has lots of MCQs, and especially Harrison based MCQs, which all other platforms are actually lacking at this point of time. So I just took the app because it was affordable also. And once I started to use the app, I fell in love with it, actually, because we did not get enough time to read Harrison. So,
Yeah.
and about the last need, when we analyze the pattern, the need before this, when I used to analyze the type of questions that came during that need, I understood that most of these were Harrison based, and some had values being asked. And these questions are not enough with watching just videos, or just studying from other platforms. So I understood that Harrison also needs to be covered in the syllabus. So when I started to do MCQs in search tests, and on a regular basis, actually. So whenever I used to get time, I would use a search test as the primary platform to do MCQs. And over the next few months, we got into more theory part, and regarding the practical exams. So during the practical exams also, I took 1 or 2 days, and from morning till night, I used to do search test MCQs. And I think I used to plan to, at this point of time, we had covered our theory exams, and I was looking for something to do MCQs. I had done MCQs from dog tutorials, Marrow, etc. But I wanted a bit more different content, which was more inclined towards the NEET SS pattern. So I actually put in a few days apart during my theory exams, practical exams, and after that, completely I dedicated to watching concise videos from other platforms, and also doing the search test MCQs. So during the last 2 months, actually, 1.5 months, one and a half months actually, before the exams, because of the postponed date, and during this last 1.5 month, I actually felt a great need to do all the search test MCQs again. So at this point, I had already completed about 70% of the syllabus MCQs in the platform, but I felt that I had lost touch with this after the theory exams. So actually, I put in a lot of time again, and from morning 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. I used to do MCQs continuously. by around 3 p.m. you will be finished. But I used to continue doing MCQs, and I could cover about 600 MCQs on an average on a day. On an average means on maximum till a day. So I also used to bookmark the MCQs during this time.
Okay.
So in my primary phase of in the last 2 months, actually 1.5 months, the first thing that I did was 1 or 2 days of theory, then MCQ of the subject from search test, then again another subject 1 or 2 days of theory, videos, etc. Then 1 day of MCQ from search test, and then I will go back to the previous subject and complete the rest of the topics, rest of the MCQs also. So
Oh,
that is the way I proceed with each subject. And I think there are 11 or more subjects, and it is very difficult to cover all, especially some subjects such as this critical care medicine, which is recently gaining importance, and we don't know whether it will be asked or not. And
yes.
we even do not have time to read Harrison. Also some subjects such as aging, environment, etc., geriatrics, and all these are not covered in any other platform also. So for all these, I could rely on search test only, and these MCQs only. And whenever I used to feel that if I'm getting a less than 30% or less than 50% MCQs correct from some topics that I do, I went back to read Harrison at that point of time. I just read the whole chapter, just focusing on the important aspects, because the reference is given in search test. So I can just go back to the page and just read that topic, just see that table, and then it will get engraved in the memory. So at this point, last month, it was very helpful, and I also used to bookmark the MCQs. And bookmarking the MCQs was the best thing that I did during my preparation. One of the best things that I did during my preparation, because in the last week, 1 week prior, uh, I started to do this bookmark MCQs. I had about 900 bookmark MCQs. At this point of time, I had finished 1.5 rounds of all the MCQs. About the 4,500 MCQs are there. I have finished all the MCQs, and then I went to read these bookmark, do these bookmark questions again. So these bookmark questions, once you do it again, you will notice that you are making the same mistakes again. So I unmarked some of the easy questions, but the difficult questions I actually did it again, and about like 900 questions was done in about 2 days. And I also used to take some notes of the important details also. So this actually helped me, because when I went into the NEET exam, and after the initial technical issues, when once you go into the exam, everything is mechanical, because it is starting at 11 a.m. Once you go into the exam at 8 a.m., now you are very fatigued and you are very down. So at this point only the practice is getting you forward. So at that point, I was confident, because I was doing about an average of 600 MCQs per day. So, and even when I am tired also, I am doing MCQs, and I am doing a grand test also. So I was confident that even if I go mechanically, I would get about 80% of the MCQs correct, and about the rest, I had to focus also. So I tried to maintain my concentration as much as possible, but I had to go mechanically a lot of times, and the practice actually helped me a lot. And once I got to know the questions also, there were so many repeats. There were so many repeats and especially the difficult questions. Much of them, actually the second question itself was a repeat. It actually gave me confidence, because I had done it 1 week ago. I had made it wrong 2 times, and this time I was sure that I am not going to make it wrong. But certain other questions, repeats came, but I made it wrong because I hadn't done it again. There are certain other questions. I wish
Hmm.
that I had just read once more, or just did once more, because during the exam, actually, even if you prepare once or twice, you need that final revision to get it through. And there are some difficult questions that are, I don't think it is covered in any platform, but it came directly for the NEET SS. And about, I think some of the difficult questions, like about 10 to 15 questions, were directly straightly from the search test, and it is one of the platforms that gave me a lot of yield for the exam, relative to the conduct. Actually, 4,000 questions is not much. It is actually doable within a span of like 15 or 20 days, it is doable once you reach the end of the preparation. Or if you are starting initially also, you can complete it. And if you complete it, it takes about like about 100 hours or so, 100 or 150 hours. But this 150 hours, if it gets you 10 to 15 difficult questions, about 80 questions in the exam that anyone can answer, and rest 70 questions are rank deciding ones. And about from the 70, if you get the most difficult 15 questions, I think it really gives you an edge over the other competitors also. So I think search test is actually a really good platform to practice MCQs and to take your competitiveness to another level during the exam.
Great, sir. Practicing 600 questions per day is really staggering. So that much of hard work and effort has been put in, so that only if you are seeing that even the last minute when you are not, everything wasn't going your way, since you have been practicing for so long, it actually made through. And telling us that such test questions had a high yield is something that we really hoped for. We had actually did a competitive analysis and thought that the basics of Harrison has not been the target for any other platform. We just wanted Harrison to be our main target, be it question bank or our 100 days of Harrison session was only meant for that. We use only for text from Harrison and also past year questions, and we discussed. We put in all the subject specialists, and we started discussing the questions based on that. And the last month or so, we also launched a decoded version of Harrison, where each and every chapter we were putting it into multiple points and giving it to the aspirants so that they can just revise it on a last go and then attempt the exam. So that was our goal. And you telling us that question bank had a high yield, and also the reviews on your feedback on our question bank is very, it is very producing a very huge amount of joy for us. And also we'll strive harder to increase the quality and the quantity of the question bank also. So
Yes.
moving forward.
When we even Qbang, actually the interface is really good. There's an option that questions I have not attempted, that you can select from the
Yeah,
drop down menu. This was
yeah,
the most unique feature actually that I have felt, because you can do it everything without any module, without any separation. You can do it completely together. So actually that helped me to do like 600, and even I have reached, I think, 800 on some days. But on the next day, my brain would be fed up, and I would just I couldn't work more. So I tried to limit at 600, because beyond that, if you work more, actually your productivity will just decline. So only because of that, I kept it at 600. But it was actually very good, and it was actually achievable. It was actually achievable only because of the interface and the seamless performance of the application. Also, I also like to congratulate the technical team and the content developers also, and all the explanations. That's another thing I want to emphasize, that yeah, I haven't read Harrison as such, and I have just covered some Harrison based videos on other platform, and just the concise versions, and tables and video flowcharts, etc. videos, and some revision videos from other platforms. But I haven't gone through Harrison as a whole. From cover to cover, it was impossible during our COVID era, and because our university exams is also not in a strict concordance with the Harrison. So there are many questions that are asked out of the syllabus also. So I had to rely on my seniors' notes, and couldn't get to read Harrison. But it was never a regret because of the search test. I indirectly read Harrison through search test actually. All the relevant topics are given, and during each, what do you say, just the explanation of each MCQ. Actually, it gives you another one or two MCQs. And there are some MCQs that I have to say again, but because I cannot say because of the NEET non-disclosure agreement. But there are some MCQs that I have not seen anywhere except in search tests that are taken straight from Harrison. If you read Harrison straight line by line, you wouldn't get that answer correct, because you would just go through it. But if you practice it in a retrograde way through an MCQ app, which you are getting wrong and reading the explanation, and that time you would remember more. And that time you would emphasize that this is important for the exam. I think the 2020, 21, 22 NEET also was covered extensively. NEET SS questions were also extensively coming from search test. One of my close friends also said that, and that is why I actually placed my main preparation of the MCQ bank as the search test during my final days, and I had very limited time. And I think it worked out well because I'm getting got a rank of 21. So I think it worked out great.
Great, sir. We are happy, very happy with the rank, and we are thank you for the extensive and great feedback on our whole app, and specifically to say the features of all the technical features were exclusively developed by our founders, Dr. Vinayak sir and Dr. Gopi sir. So who they were themselves NEET as a stopper, so they knew that at the last minute what they lacked in other apps or other resource material they wanted to include in this app. So that's why it's very aspirant oriented, because it is developed by a previous SS aspirant. So this all these are critically made sure that it is there in the technical features, and also a few things like selecting the particular topic that you want to read, selecting the question that you have not attended. All that are specifically targeted and made sure that it was put into our app. So I'm very happy that it was a great help for you. So moving forward, what is the final word of advice that you want to give your juniors and for NEET as a 24? Any parting words?
NEET SS 24, I would say just to start early and start early itself, as early as possible. Learning each subject in detail, and once you get towards the end, you have to narrow down and use the most important resources. And from the beginning itself, you have to practice MCQs. And I think such test is an application that you can use to practice MCQs from the early stage itself. And it goes in concordance with Harrison also. But so if you are preparing with Harrison as the main resource, it is very beneficial to do search test with each chapter, and also to highlight the points and to bookmark the MCQs also once you do. And you should prepare with video lectures definitely. And towards the end, the 3 months before the end, you have to have a lead. You have to have some solid content with you, and you have to move forward by revising these content and just to do doing the MCQs again. Because once you do the MCQs and you get it wrong, the wrong answer may stick in your head also. So they're doing this the second time, especially the bookmarked MCQs, it will greatly improve your rank, and actually it will help you to focus better on the exam part also. And also don't forget to do grant tests. I cannot emphasize this enough, because grant tests are the most important part, because when you do a subject MCQs completely, you would get most of them correct. But when you see it in a mixed format, your brain is getting stimulated, or the whole of your cortex will get stimulated, and you have to retrieve this huge lot of information. So you have to do it in a mixed bag also. And also there are options on search test also to do that. I have used all of the features, and I think I can personally vouch for search test as an MCQ preparation app.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you for this wonderful giving us your wonderful time, and also waiting this long and giving to us is something that is that we really admire and thankful for. So all the best for your future endeavors, sir. And let us catch up later when you are going forward in life. And if at all we are able to collaborate again with Searchers or myself in particular in person, we'd be happy to have you. Thanks a lot for your time, sir.